We're living in a crazy world right now. Our economy is shifting. And if you're not Zoom, who's increased their net worth to $2 billion, or Google, then you have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of praying to do. Welcome to today's episode of God is CEO. This is Olivia Omega, entrepreneur, wife, mom, and firm believer that our entrepreneurial purpose goes beyond our products and services. Join me on a journey as we elevate God's role in life, family, relationships, and entrepreneurship by taking cues from the ultimate chief executive officer. Every day is an opportunity to trust his handcrafted plan and make God CEO. So, welcome back to God is CEO. Our economy is shifting in a crazy way right now. People, we're all under quarantine, stay-at-home orders. This means a lot of uncertainty for all of us. For schools, kids are out of schools and school is canceled. Our daughter's prom was just canceled. Unemployment has increased. I want to say the report was that 2 million people applied for unemployment last week. Hourly job workers have lost their jobs. So again, if you're not Zoom, which has I think their user base has it's not even quadrupled. It's gone up by 22 times. So not 22%, but 22 times. Then we have a lot of praying to do, right? We have a lot of just meditation and seeking to do to figure out how do we shift and how do we maneuver in this challenging time that we're in. For entrepreneurs, this uncertainty can feel even greater, as in certain times. I know I have a friend of mine, I live in this entrepreneurship space, and a really good friend of mine said that, I want to say 2 weeks ago, every day she got a phone call from a client canceling their contract. They just couldn't pursue it, especially when you've got services that can be deemed as discretional, or not discretional, but services that aren't necessary, right? So as all of you business coaches out there, all of you life coaches, if you are a health coach, these are things that can easily fall by the wayside. So the friend of mine said every single day she got a call from a client saying that they just couldn't continue right now because things were so uncertain and we were on so much shaky ground. And by the end of the week, she had lost everything. In uncertain times, this pushes me to even put my hope in God and trust in the Lord even more now than ever. And during uncertain times, and this has been going on for, not this, we're going through something brand new that none of us know how to react to, but in uncertain times in my life and times where I'm unsure about things, that has happened quite a few times. I do a journaling exercise that I call 5 things I know for sure. So this journaling exercise is I literally sit down and I write out the 5 things that I know for sure. My life is swirling around me. Everything is uncertain. I don't have the answers. I am stressed and a little panicked inside, not knowing which way to go, but these are the 5 things I know for sure. And those 5 things shift and change over time. Some of them stay pretty constant. But I did this exercise a few days ago and just want to share with you what those 5 things were. So the first one is I know that I'm loved. That is concrete and sure in my heart, in my mind, in my faith. I know that there's a plan. There's a plan for our lives and a plan. And at the end of the day, I trust and put my hope and faith into that plan. The third thing, I know that God is real and I know that Jesus is Lord. The fourth thing I know for sure is that I'm not afraid of death. And that's something that we're grappling with a lot right now in the face of coronavirus, in the face of millions of people potentially dying from this, and the thousands of people that already have. Every day, regardless of whether there's a pandemic that is broken out, we face this notion and this possibility of death. And the fifth thing that I know for sure, and this one is coming up more recent in recent times and what we're doing, is that I know for a fact that we must shift our thinking the way we do things in order to survive right now. I love journals, so much so that I created my own line. This is for those of you who love to write things down and need to write things down. It's called Grind and Grace. They're the only journals, notebooks, planners, and accessories for God-influenced entrepreneurs that spark inspiration and encouragement to trust God's handcrafted plan for your life and your business. Go to grindandgrace.com and order yours today. And that shift can take place in a lot of different ways. There's a pivot, right? There's this pivot, there's this adaptation, there's an evolution in all of the things that we are looking at for survival. For entrepreneurs, I want to beg of you to look at your business right now and to start to think about what that shift can look like for you. I have seen some people, this is businesses too, so not just small businesses, not just entrepreneurs, but larger businesses, continue to market to their audience as business as usual. So the emails, blasts that you're sending out, the email sequences that you're sending out when someone signs up for your newsletter, some of those haven't changed. And because they haven't changed, and our world has changed so much in the last 2 weeks, in the last month, a lot of entrepreneurs, small businesses, and even large corporations are coming off as very insensitive in this struggle, in this crisis that we're living in. I'll give you an example. As I signed up for a newsletter, and the email sequence, which I expect, I'm a marketer. This is what I do, so I expect an email sequence. The email sequence didn't head nod to anything that we as human beings are going through right now. The uncertainty of income, the uncertainty of livelihood, of life, being cooped up in our houses, being quarantined, being new teachers to our children that are now home from school. And it basically just kept selling me. So every 24 hours, every day, I would get another email selling me on more products that weren't relevant because of the time we're in. So, and again, this isn't one person, this is multiple companies that I've seen do this. So we have to pivot. This is our new normal right now, is the life we're living. And so as a brand, as a business owner, the way you win right now is that you understand how to shift and where to go with your business, and who is the best person to guide you in what that pivot and what that shift looks like, except for God, who saw this pandemic, who sees how and where and when we're going to come out of it, and where our new normal will end up being in the months and even years to come. So I want to encourage you, and this has given me a lot of time being quarantined and being home, to meditate, to sit and to pray and ask God, how does this shift need to look for me? What does my message need to be now as an entrepreneur to really connect to my target audience and my customers on a meaningful level, where there is empathy and sensitivity to all the things that they're going through right now. Real quickly, in the Bible it says that in 1 Corinthians 4, regard us as servants of Christ and as those entrusted with the mysteries God has revealed. So I'm praying, God, reveal these mysteries to me. This is all new territory. We don't know what the heck we're doing. Reveal to me your mysteries and your secrets, and whisper to me that brilliant download that I'm looking for, the amazing, mind-blowing download of how I should pivot and shift to keep my business afloat right now. We have to shift the way we do business, the way we engage our audiences, and the way we market to our customers. And this is definitely not business as usual. We cannot move forward as business as usual. This isn't entrepreneurship as usual, and it most definitely isn't marketing as usual. A pivot has to happen. Those that don't pivot, those that don't take the time to sit and get quiet and understand where they need to go, will be perceived as insensitive. And honestly, y'all are damaging your brand and reputation. Those that do take the time out to shift will set themselves apart and will set themselves up to emerge from all of this when the dust settles stronger and better as a brand, as a company. I mentioned Zoom earlier. So Zoom is actually, with their 22 time increase, the stock went down, Zoom stock went up. They're actually starting to give away their platform. So if you sign up for Zoom, I love Zoom and I'm on it all day, every day, even before the pandemic broke out. You have multiple levels, right? Different packages. And so your basic level, your free level, you can record and you could do a Zoom video conference call for 45 minutes. And then you go up from there. It's about $13 or $14 a month. And it's, unlimited time. You can record your calls, etc. But then they have some upper level packages. They've got a webinar package and all of these different things where you can have up to 300 some people on a Zoom call. You can actually do breakout groups and separate rooms and separate chat rooms, and you can come back together, and all of these different great features, they're offering that to people for free. So you don't need to upgrade. You can be part of their webinar package, and they're doing that to help educators, to help businesses. So while in this day and age and what we're going through, Zoom is killing it. They're killing the game because they're relevant. Their platform is relevant. We need it now. People need that. We need Google Hangouts. They're actually giving to their audience. So they've decided to actually give more. An example that I saw that was really, really great, and I don't know if you've all seen this, if you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, D-Nice is a DJ that at the beginning of this, and it's weird to say the beginning of this because this has all been going on for, it's like 2 weeks going, but it feels like 4 months, but it's actually been going on all year in other countries. So towards the beginning of this, when it became super, super prevalent and our awareness in the US spiked, D-Nice as a DJ started to put on live dance parties. And so his first dance party was a couple weeks ago. It was on Instagram Live. Instagram Live. And there were 200 people showed up. He did it just one night, spur of the moment, and he's doing it from his home. The next night, I think he had, 2,000 people show up. And then by night 3 or 4 of this virtual dance party, and he's calling it Club Quarantine, he had over 100,000 people tune in to his virtual dance party. And it's like, wow. And this is like, it gets better and better. Not only did he have 100,000 people tune in, but he had celebrities tuning in. So he's name dropping, and as people come on, if you've ever been on an Instagram Live, you could see the people pop up and you see all these hearts and etc. So he had shout outs to Michelle Obama, to Beyonce, to Joe Biden, to Steph Curry, to all of these different celebrities that the other people watching, us, whatever C-listers, I don't know what I am, a D-lister, watching, we're like, man, I'm at the same party as these A-lister celebrities. So cool. The next day, his dance party hit upwards of 130 or 150,000 people live. And he said, I never thought the best party I would ever throw in my lifetime would be from my living room, would be from my house. So he's a great example of shifting and pivoting. He gave something away for free. Not only did he give it away for free, but he touched on the core basic needs of his audience in this moment in time, in this moment of fear and uncertainty, the need for connection, the need for joy and happiness, and the need to dance. And he gave it away. And so some people, as entrepreneurs, I come across a lot of people who are like this, where they don't want to give away things for free because we need the money. We need the money. We need the customers. We don't want to give away things for free because we have bills to pay. You're listening to God is CEO podcast, where we talk about God's handcrafted plan for our lives and our businesses. And so going into this pandemic, a lot of us were already struggling. A lot of us were trying to make ends meet already. Now we're in this challenging time. Now you want me to give things away for free? What are you smoking? But I want to encourage you to say that as you give, as we turn our hearts to this place of giving, and as we start to come pull together as a human race, as a country, as people in the same boat, we're based on economics, we're being hit differently, yes, and I acknowledge that. There are people that have secure jobs and secure paychecks right now, and there are others that were laid off last week and do not know where their next meal is coming from. We are joined together by this challenging situation, and we have an opportunity to give. DJ D Nice gave his best. He put on his best show and did his best work and gave it away for free. And I want to talk real quickly about what that ROI could look like. So you say, okay, Olivia, I get it. Give stuff away for free. One, how do I do that? And I, again, meditate and see what those downloads are, those heavenly mysteries that will be spoken to you of do this, go this way, offer this, promote this, speak to your audience in this way. And the second thing I will say is that ROI will look different for everyone. But in this case, the ROI was huge. He gave away this for free. He increased his Instagram following by 400%. 400%. He went, now I think his following is at over 1.5 million people follow him on Instagram. These people are so grateful, so thankful, so just enamored by his generosity. They would be willing to do whatever. He literally could go to his audience now and he could put together, maybe he recorded one of these parties that he put together, and he could sell that recording for a $5 donation to a charity, to himself, because he's got bills to pay, whatever. And his 1.5 million followers on Instagram right now would be so happy to give him $5 each as a thank you for what he's given them. Again, he didn't give them a good playlist. He didn't give them, DJing at a free party. He gave them their basic needs in this moment right now. The need to connect, the need for love, joy, happiness, and the need to dance. That's what he gave them. So the ROI on that is going to be incredible because he gave first. So I want to encourage you all to look at that. Another really good example, and I don't know why I'm in the music space right now in the music industry, is Justin Bieber. So regardless of your feelings about Justin Bieber, he's talented. My daughter has loved Justin Bieber since she was super, super little, and we did her 10-year-old birthday party. I got her tickets. I spent a tiny, small fortune and just went crazy on Craigslist trying to find these tickets for her. And this was 7, 8 years ago. So for her 10th birthday, we went to a Justin Bieber concert. But Justin Bieber released a work from home album. And it's not a huge album. It only has, I think, 4 or 5 songs on it. But he released a work from home album in the midst of all of this. So we have to be nimble. We have to be quick. We can't sit on our hands and worry and be so down that we can't move for weeks and weeks on end. What can we throw together? What can we put together in 24 hours? What can we put together in 48, 72 hours that can support and help and lift up our audience in this time right now? So he threw together an album pretty much overnight. I want to leave you with the scripture, of course, going back to the Word of God, and encourage you all to pray, to meditate. And even if you're like, Olivia, I haven't prayed, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't know how to meditate. It's hard. It's tricky. It's challenging to sit and to quiet your mind and to distance yourself from the cares and the worries to focus on something that is solid and going back to those 5 things that you know for sure. Write that down. And in your time of meditation, make sure that you have time in there to listen, just to sit and listen. A lot of times in my prayer life, I have spent so much time praying for here are all the things that I need, like going through that grocery list. I need peace. God, give me, take away my worries. Lord, give us health in our bodies. And I go through all of these things. I need clients in my business. Please take away the stress of having to pay the mortgage every month, and please help sustain us, and on and on and on. And then I say amen, and then I get up and I go about my worry. Notice how I didn't say I go about my day. And then I get up and I go about my worry. And I didn't take the time to really sit and listen. So I want to encourage you that after that prayer time and you get out the things that you want to say, just sit. And be still, be quiet, be super quiet, and quiet your mind. And then this is where like such magic happens. And this is where I am a crazy journal person. I love to journal. I love journals. So I have a whole collection of journals that are empty because they're so pretty and I don't want to write in them. But I sit and I journal. So I pray and I meditate. I sit for not even that long, 5 minutes in total silence. I don't talk. I try not to think. And I let the Holy Spirit just download to me, just talk to me, give me what you need me to know and hear. And I write it down in my journal and I put a date on it because it's important to understand how God is working in your life and your business over time and to be able to look back. Can you imagine when we emerge from this? And it's going to take a while, y'all. This is super long term. Even as the quarantine will be lifted, and let's say that by June, July, things are getting back to somewhat of a normal place. Our economy has been hit to a place where I don't see a recovery soon. So let's say we emerge 2, 3, 4 years from now. Think about how amazing it will be to go back to your journal entry of March, April 2020, and what download you received, what mystery you received to take your business in this new direction, to pivot, and then to go back and say, wow, this was an amazing shift in time. And even in the midst of all my worry and fear, I was able to come out of that. So write it down, journal, write that down. And be diligent in taking the advice and the direction you receive and stepping out and acting on it immediately. Do you think D Nice literally had in his mind like, I should do a free party. I should do a dance party. I should call it Club Quarantine. Do you think he sat on that for weeks and weeks on end? No, there's no time. There's no time to sit on things like this. He got a download, he got an unction and a desire in his heart to give and to do this new thing that no one has really ever done, and he acted on it immediately. Justin Bieber, I'm sure, did not get this idea for a work from home album, and then him and Ha, and wait, are you sure it's a good idea? Wait, should I do this? I don't know. I'm gonna go sit and watch Tiger King on Netflix. I'm gonna, eat and drink and do whatever for the next couple weeks, and then I'll do this work from home album. No, he cranked that out. He cranked it out. So I'm praying that in your business, in your life, in your journey, in your company, that you receive an amazing, mind-blowing download today, this week, that will pivot you and set you up for success long term, and that you take action immediately on what that download is. In Ephesians 1, verse 9 through 11, it says, God has now revealed to us his mysteries regarding Christ, which is to fulfill his own good plan. And this is the plan. At the right time, he will bring everything together under the authority of Christ, everything in heaven and on earth. Furthermore, because we are united with Christ, we will have received an inheritance from God. For he chose us in advance, and he makes everything work out according to his plan. Thank you for listening to God is CEO. Stay tuned for the next episode and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. God bless you and your business.